Sorry guys, my camera stopped recording. Usually it stops recording. It's set to stop recording every 30 minutes, but ever since I dropped my camera twice already, it's acting up. But anyway, so like I said, I noticed a tear in my neighbor's eye, and they were looking in the direct. They were headed like they were standing, looking in the direction of their door, and then my neighbor pointed towards their door, and they said to me, "Would you please be a witness to me, because so and so is trying to get into my home." And so I said to my neighbor, I looked out, like I stuck my head out of my door, and I saw that person there, and then I looked back at my neighbor and I said, "What is this?" And then my neighbor said, "They're trying to get into my home." And then I said, "But what are they doing here?" And then my neighbor said, "They're trying to get into my home." So then I said to my friend, "But you're allowing them to come back here." And so my neighbor looked at me and said, I know. And so then my neighbor said, would you please be a witness to me?" So in my mind, this is crazy. Like everything is running, so much is running through my mind. Like, I'm upset because this is a conversation that I have had with my neighbor before about why all of this is happening, like what they can do in order to make this sort of thing stop. So this is what's going in my head, anger, being upset, frustrated. So all these things are coming at me at once, but I have to make a decision. Shall I be a witness to this person or not? So then I decided, I said, okay. I said to myself, I will be a witness to my neighbor, because I was concerned. So anyway, as I watched my neighbor walk right back down to their door, and the person who was trying to get into their place was just standing there on the opposite side of the hall, across their door. So then my neighbor walked back to their door, and they continued to fight and talk. And so long story short, guys, it ended up that both of them, they continued to fight verbally, right? Just screaming at the top of their lungs. So at one point, my neighbor went into their apartment, and the person standing outside tried to force their way into their apartment. So this happened several times, right? The neighbor had gotten into their home, closed the door, and the person on the outside tried to force their way in, and I saw everything. And my neighbor was screaming at the top of their lungs, but the person outside was saying, you need to, like, basically they were angry because they wanted some of their property. So it looks like my neighbor had some of their property still inside their home. And this thing went on for like a good while, maybe 15 minutes, back and forth. My neighbor forcing the door closed, and then the person standing outside was forcing themselves back in, trying to. But guys, I got so I got tired of this. I got tired of it. So then I just closed my door. I locked it, and I waited at the door, and based on everything that I heard, my neighbor eventually got this other person's belongings out of their home, placed them outside. Then they closed their door, and that person that was standing out there continued to scream and saying all kinds of vile things, and they were screaming all kinds of vulgarities the entire time. So, but anyway, like I said, after I closed my door, I was standing there listening to everything that was continuing to go on. I looked through my peephole, and then after about maybe 3 minutes, I saw this person, the person who was screaming, the vulgarities. They walked past my door, and they headed towards the elevator. So, and guys, this is the sort of thing that makes me upset, because you want to help somebody and you tell them what to do, and they don't do it. And then when they place themselves in danger again, or whatever kind of trouble, they come running to you to rescue them. And that is an abusive relationship. Like, I'm not saying I am in an abusive relationship with this friend. What I'm saying is the way people treat you at times when they come to you for help, but they refuse to take the help you give them, but they keep coming to you to rescue them when they need you. That's abusive. That's abusive thing, right? That's not good. So that's why I was upset. And the thing is, guys, you know what? Listen to this. You see, when I heard the door, before I had opened my door, right? When I heard the loud banging, and when I ran to my door, the first thing, right, my discernment was telling me was, don't open the door. Also, the Holy Spirit was telling me, don't open the door. Okay, and I said to myself, and also to the Lord, I said, but Lord, you know what? I'm concerned for them. I know I'm not supposed to open the door, but I'm concerned for them. So when I opened the door and all of that stuff happened, everything that I just explained to you happened, you know, at the end of everything, I was left drained. I was left drained, right? Because the reason why the Holy Spirit and my discernment was telling me don't open the door was because they knew that I was, you know, the result. I was going to get drained. I was just going to get used, right? I was going to get used by somebody who is still not taking their life seriously. They continue to allow a person, you know, who keeps physically assaulting them back into their life, and they don't want anything to do with any kind of help that anybody wants to give to them. They don't want to take any advice about they don't want to take advice about what they should be doing in order to keep themselves safe from this abuser. You know, and it's frustrating. So this is why the Holy Spirit and my discernment were telling me don't open the door. But because I was concerned for them, I opened the door, right? But next time, guys, I'm not going to do it. And it may sound cruel. And mean, but I am not going to open the door because, guys, at that 2 nights ago when this happened, after I closed my door and I went back inside, I felt completely depleted of energy. I felt so used. I felt really just completely used, you know, just all my energy was just gone, right? And I was upset. Now, of course, it's my fault because I didn't listen to the Holy Spirit or my discernment. But next time, I'm going to listen. I won't do it, right? So if I just tilted my camera I accidentally hit my tripod with my hand. So if my camera moves, sorry about that. So guys, you know, it was a very terrible, a terrible feeling to get all feeling so drained like that, right? And I was really, really upset. But I'm over it now. I'm no longer upset about it. But this is what happens when we don't listen to the Holy Spirit when He tries to protect us. Now, it doesn't mean that the Holy Spirit doesn't love this person who's allowing an abuser to enter into their home, right? The Holy Spirit is always sending us messages through people and through magazines, through commercials, through our doctors, through any way, right? Flyers, right? Through TV, the computer. He sends us messages and through any way to warn us and to tell us what we should be doing in order for our lives to get better, or in order for whatever situation that we're in to get better and to continue to stay better. But when you have, you know, persons like my neighbor who refuses to take the counsel of people that the Holy Spirit is like, the Holy Spirit is speaking to them, right? And He's giving them counsel through those people, but they're refusing to take it. You know, it doesn't make any sense for those persons who are refusing the counsel to run to people begging for help because they've gotten themselves into trouble that they know they could have prevented. Right? So it's abusive to expect other people to be there for you when you're not taking your life seriously, when you're not doing what you're supposed to do in order to keep yourself safe. And you know, the other people in my house, they were very upset. They're like, Nancy, that's nonsense. Next time, don't open the door. Don't do that. And I said to them, yes, you're right. I won't do it next time. It doesn't mean that my family members are not concerned about them, because they're concerned about them. But you cannot allow yourself to be used like that. You cannot allow yourself to be manipulated into those kinds of situations because they drain you and they affect you. Okay, you also will be affected by how they're living their life, and you don't want to be dragged into that. You don't want to be affected by the way other people are living their lives. You don't want to be dragged into their problems. Okay, you don't want to be dragged into their problems because they are not doing anything to help themselves. And it's not right for them to go seeking help from people who have given them help but refuse to take it. You understand? It's not right. And if you are doing that to somebody, shame on you. Shame on you. It's not right. Because when you don't take your life seriously, and I'm talking in general now, when people don't take their lives seriously, you know what's going to happen, guys, eventually? Eventually, God is going to remove his protection off of you and you are going to die. You're either going to be affected by that situation in a horrendous way, or you're going to die. Let me tell you about a story. I think my camera's about to stop recording. Around maybe 10 years ago, I think it was, I was listening to the news, and this happened in the U.S. There was a gathering at a home, and this home had a pool. Okay, and the gathering was, I think, either inside the house or at the front part of the house. And there was this boy around 12 years old. He was playing in the pool, and all of a sudden he started screaming and screaming and asking for help because he said that he was drowning. So then everybody came running from wherever they were. They came running into the backyard, and they saw the boy in the pool. And then he said, "No, I'm just joking. Haha, I'm only kidding. I'm not drowning." So then everybody went back to wherever they were. So then, well, hold on. I'm sorry, guys. It's just somebody opening up the door behind me to let out some things. So then, once again, the boy started yelling, "Help, help, I'm drowning, help." And everybody again ran back into the backyard. And then when they saw the boy in the water, he said again, "I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. I'm not really drowning. I'm only kidding." So then everybody ran back outside again. And then a third time, "Help, help, help, I'm drowning, help, help, help." And this time nobody came. Nobody came. And then after, I don't know after how long it happened, but at some point they found this boy dead, drowned in the pool. Now, guys, isn't this story is exactly like that? That's, I don't know if it's a fairy tale or some kind of it's like a fictitious story of the boy who cried wolf, right? I forget how that story goes, but they told us that story when we were little in school. So this story, when I first heard this story on the news, I said, this is exactly like that story called The Boy Who Cried Wolf. In that story, there was a little boy who did the same thing. He kept crying out to people to help him. And then I think it was on the third time, nobody came to help him, and something happened where he died or something like that. I couldn't believe that something like this really happened. So guys, you see what happens? See what happened with this guy, this little boy, this 12-year-old in this news story that I'm telling you about. He was playing around with his life. He was playing around with his life until, what he was doing actually happened, because he was also speaking into his life. He was pretending to drown, mocking his life, making fun of everybody, making fun of the life that God gave him, until God allowed him to die because he was being foolish. That's a harsh word, but he was being foolish, guys. And when we are foolish, God will allow, at some point, he will allow for us to suffer the consequences of our foolishness. Some people end up dying, and some of them, they survive their foolishness, and they have to they have to deal with some kind of a ramification from their foolishness, maybe a major disability or something. But it's something that's left, it's going to be lasting to show them, remind them about their foolishness. So this is the same situation with my neighbor. They're not taking their life seriously, guys. And yeah, so I will not be opening up my door again. I won't do it. And nobody else in my house will be doing it either, because that's, you know, that's not right. You're not respecting your neighbors. You're not respecting other people if you're going to keep running to them for help when you refuse to change your situation so that you don't need to run and get help. That's crazy. It's not right. I'm not going to let this neighbor to allow me and my family members to be a part of their game. You know, we will let them deal with what they're dealing with on their own. Okay, guys, so I'm finished now, and gotta go back inside, and I have to eat breakfast, and yeah. So remember, guys, if you're dealing with somebody who is abusing you physically, then and you don't want to get out, that's your fault. Okay, you need to do whatever you can. If you're using the excuse that you have no place to go, then you have to at least start doing your research to see how you can get out, because the help is there. Ask God to give you favor to help you to get out of there, but don't just sit there and crying and saying, oh, nobody, I don't have anybody, I have no money, I have no place to go. The first thing you can do is stop your whining, stop crying, and ask God to give you favor to open the doors so that you can get out. Go to a church and ask for help. They will help you. They will help you. There is help out there. Now you have to do it. Okay? Get over yourself and go get the help, because you're alive, you're breathing, and you have a mouth to talk. So get yourself some help. And if you are getting abused and you have the funds to get out and you're not getting out, guess what? That's your fault too. If you have the money to get out and you don't get out, that's your fault, and whatever you get is on you. So I have nothing else to say. If you have the money to get out and you're not getting out, that's your fault. You see, it's like the one neighbor that I have, okay? They have their own home, and they're allowing the abuser to come and stay with them. Now, the abuser has their own home as well. But because their victim allows them to come over, they come over. So it doesn't make any sense to me, guys, why a person who has the ability to remove the abuser from their life, and they continue to they continue to allow the abuser access into their life. I do not understand. If you have the money to get out, to get away from your abuser, and you don't do it, I don't understand. You know, and then like my neighbor, they have their own home, but they allow the abuse to come to them. I don't understand that. It's different if you don't have the money for anything, that's different, but still you have the responsibility to educate yourself to see how you're going to get out. So that's not an excuse, but it's a lot different when you do have, when you are in a situation that I just mentioned, where you have your own home, or if you have the money to get out. Okay, don't come to me with any nonsense. Okay, guys, so I think this is it. I'm finished. I've got to go inside. Now my hands are cold, even though I'm wearing gloves. Now my hands are cold, and I still have my umbrella because it's still snowing, but it was snowing a lot more before. I don't know if you guys can see the snow though. Oh yes, you can. Okay, guys, so I gotta go. God bless you, and if you like this video, then just subscribe, guys, and click the bell. You see below the video it says subscribe, and next to subscribe you see a bell. Click the bell, because when you click the bell, you'll be notified for every time I upload a video. And like the video if you like it. Okay, guys, so I think if the camera doesn't stop recording, I'm gonna try and show you the construction that's happening around here. Okay, hold on. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to like close the umbrella. Okay, so I did, and my umbrella has like little, you see the snow? Look, my umbrella has snow on it. Cool, huh? Okay, so now I'm going to try and lift up this tripod. Okay, I'm gonna try and lift it up. So sorry guys if you guys get sick. I hope you don't get sick from the movement. Oh, okay. You see over there? They're doing construction over there. And sorry guys, I cannot zoom in because of the way I'm holding the camera. Oh, hold on a minute. I'll try and zoom in. It's very it's hard because I'm holding on to the umbrella